you're actually giving birth to something too. Look at this wheel, um, the wreath here, and this wheel here. It's really like a cycle is ending, and a new cycle is beginning. But you may have fear, doubt, or resistance to this new cycle coming in. This aces are always new beginnings. And you have 2 of them here. That's double energy. But when they're in reverse, it kind of can mean that there's fear, doubt, or resistance to allowing this new beginning in. Usually, when you have a desire for something, that's what creates this coming in, the new beginning. This is new energy, new vitality, new passion, new desire. Ace of Wands is a very desire-centered card. And Ace of Coins is about receiving. The universe is trying to hand you something. This is the active element, and this is the receiving element. This is fire energy, this is earth energy. And I'm really getting that you're going to be passing through a portal here in November. I'm getting that from this garden arch, walking into your new life, if you can allow that. And also with this world, it's like passing through a portal. It's like you've completed a stage here, Pisces. This is success, victory. This is the final card of the major arcana. And this is coming to some completion point, and you are showing up as being supported from all directions, feeling free. These are the 4 directions of the zodiac. This is Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. And I'm almost getting to a completion and a new birth right around this new moon. So you're being taken into this higher level of learning, almost like a new classroom of life. Again, that sounds really trite, but with the focus being on the new moon in your 9th house of higher learning, you're really being like elevated to a new level, sort of like you completed the old stage and now you're ready for the new classroom, and you feel very free and supported. This is you, Pisces. And I see it's like dancing in the celestial sphere. It's being supported from all directions, feeling free, feeling open. It's almost like being ready to be full again, because that's the next card that comes after this. But there's some fear or resistance to this change. And I'm really getting that from the middle of the month here with this wheel in reverse, as well as, this devil card has got you gripped. This can be, devil in reverse can be obsession. It can be tremendous fear. It's really, what it's doing is it's bringing up all the shadow aspects to be dealt with at the beginning of November. And this is really interesting with Scorpio, with Jupiter and Scorpio. And that's in your 9th house too of higher learning. I'm really getting the sense that you're being confronted with a lot of shadow aspects, which is scorpionic energy. I know this is kind of funny, but I'm kind of getting the sense of, how when Luke Skywalker in Star Wars goes into the forest to confront his shadow self? That's what I'm getting. And it's really because he needs to go through that. Jung talks about this, confronting our shadow self, in order to getting to the next level of awareness, of consciousness, of development. In order for you to receive this new beginning, you kind of have to purge. You see how these stars are it's the same star, Pisces, but it's just in a different orientation. This is when we allow our shadow sides to dominate, and it's very fear-based. The devil is about giving your power away to something else, not believing in your own strength. It's giving your power away to things that end up controlling you. So this can be like addiction, obsession, fear, anything that has to do where you're giving your own power away. And that's what is depicted in this card, is that this figure, this shadowy figure, gets more of our attention than the truth that stands behind him. And we can get lost in the details. This little scarab or bug or fly, it's like something that's constantly at us, monkey on our back, consuming our attention. And when we're able to transform that, this is sort of like the dark, shadowy night. When we transform that and integrate it, confront the shadow self, this is what's waiting for us. A new lifestyle, new life, a portal to this new garden that we get to receive this gift. So there's a real opportunity to be transformed at the beginning of November, Pisces, and it's going to be a real gift, but you have to work through. You have all these major arcana surrounding it in reverse. You have some real fear of change to work through in order to get this. All of these are in reverse, which shows fear, doubt, or resistance. It's really bringing up a lot to you to receive this coin, to receive this new life, this new beginning. And it may tear down some old structures for you that you don't see coming, that may come from places that you've kind of requested on a soul level, but not necessarily on a conscious level. So this may be terrifying for you, but yet it's necessary, and it's actually what you've chosen on a certain level. The fact that you have death here in this upright position tells me that you actually are ready to let this old cycle go. And within, how this echoes with this card here, with Ace of Coins, is that you recognize on some level that the seeds of the new beginning come from letting go of this old. The rose, again, here's all the cliches, but they're apt. So the rose needs to be cut in order to harvest the seeds that begin the new beginning. And on some level, you're ready for this. You're accepting of this because death is showing up in the upright position. You're ready to let go of what is old, the old cycle, what is no longer alive, what is no longer serving you. This is a beautiful rose, but the end of its life has come, and the only way into new life is to cut and sever this old rose. And that's how you allow this in. But there is a certain amount of fear, doubt, resistance, delay, shadow aspects that you are going to have to push through, Pisces, in November in order to get to that. I get the sense you're ready with death here, but you're going to need to be ready for your world to change. The old structures are no longer going to be serving you. And you're going to have to confront some real fears here and some shadow parts of yourself, beliefs that are not real may come to the surface to be dealt with. And that's why Wheel here is in reverse too. You're kind of saying, God, I don't know if I feel like I'm ready. In some ways, this feeling of all of these together really reminds me of like going on a roller coaster ride willingly. But being at that moment where you've climbed to the top and it's about to take that drop and you're saying, no, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do this. I'm afraid, but you're already on that path. So you may as well surrender. That's another card for death. Another word for the death card is surrender and release, and enjoy it and receive the gift that is there. Is really what I'm getting. This is really something that you have called to you, this new beginning. Two aces. Aces are always beginning, but it feels terrifying and it may even feel like hard work. But you have chosen this, and this is really by the end of November, it may feel like a new birth. And there's a lot of, see all the blue backgrounds here, Pisces? This is really clear thinking. Even though, most of this is in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of the cards are in reverse. So that's, again, speaking to the fear, the doubt, the resistance. It's like going online and ordering something, and then when it comes to your house, you're saying, I can't believe I ordered that. I can't believe it's here. I can't believe, it's just like there's something that you're telling yourself you're not ready for it, but you know that you are. that you've kind of asked for it. You've acknowledged that this thing has been dying for a while, and you just need to push through to become that Jedi Knight. That Luke Skywalker doesn't get to the next level without confronting this shadow and without letting go of what he thinks serves him. If that makes any sense. Tower can be a lot like the tools in your tool belt that you constantly go back to, and they're no longer there. You have to rely on new tools. I know I'm using a lot of Star Wars references here, but it's also like when Obi-Wan, and please forgive me, I know this is kind of silly, but when Obi-Wan gives Luke the helmet and says, don't rely on your vision, rely on, your inner knowing. And Luke is like, how do I do that? But when he does, he goes to a whole nother level of understanding. So you may have to let go of what's comforting, what's supportive, what has felt like your stability and your rock. But it's also releasing you to, these blue skies, this sense of freedom, this sense of support from the whole, all corners of the universe and this new birth. So Pisces, have faith. Another thing that's going on in head to head with this fear and shadow and resistance, giving your power away. Middle of the month is taking your power back. And this is what leads you to World, by the way, this is 2 wands, which has to do with claiming your own personal power. It's boldness, it's capability, it's balance. This card's known as making fire and sending your ships out. It's feeling like you have the world in the palm of your hands, feeling like the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere you want, do anything you want. It's like complete belief in the self and feeling that sense of boldness, capability, power, personal authority. And by the way, you're getting help here. There's someone who is sort of coming into the frame, who wants to help you with this, who's either handing you this pearl or wants to help you with whatever your vision and your journey is. And that's what's also leading you to feeling free. So this line here is really a story of stop giving your power away to fears and beliefs that are not true and beliefs in something else. That strips you from your power, and put it where it belongs, here in yourself, in your own capability, in your own dreams and your own goals and choices, and receiving help towards those, by the way. And that leads to such freedom that it really kind of gives you like a new birth. If you look at the difference between these 2 cards, this card is about bondage and being stuck and fearful and tied. This card is about freedom and vitality and completion, self-realization, enlightenment, getting to that next level of understanding. There's a real evolution happening for you in November, and a lot of it, Pisces, has to do with your willingness to cut these cords, face fears, let go, and receive this new thing that's coming to you, this new life, running with it. Ace of Wands is about the baton, the person out front who is leading the parade with the baton, new energy, passion, enthusiasm, all those fire, motivation. And I also liken this card to the person who is in the race and running, and the active element in the race, the person who's holding the baton and carrying it and running the race. So this is like a passionate, beautiful new beginning that the world is trying to hand to you. But you have to face your own fears and release yourself from all this old beliefs in order to get to that point, Pisces. You have to really trust in yourself and your decision making, believe in your goals and your own capabilities, personal power, in order to align yourself with divine timing, because Wheel in Reverse can talk about trying to rush things forward or trying to delay things. It's not being in alignment with letting things evolve naturally as they will and as they do. So Wheel says, time changes all things. The seasons change. Time has its own natural course. But when it's in reverse, there's some sort of fear, doubt, or resistance, or even impatience towards allowing that thing to evolve naturally. And with these three in reverse, Ace of Coins, Wheel, and Knight of Swords, it's like you're not trusting the natural knowledge, wisdom of the universe to support this change. The natural changing of the seasons, the changing of the tides, time changing things as it will. This is telling me that you're either trying to delay it out of fear or you're trying to rush it. You're not allowing the natural timing to happen. So see if you can rely upon your own knowledge of your capabilities, your own decision making, your goals, your visions, your dreams, to surrender to the wheel happening as it will. It's happening anyway. Wheel is here. This is good luck. And it is divine timing, but don't resist it. Don't fear it. Don't doubt it. That's going to be a challenge for you in November, Pisces. But you're going to have to get on board with the wheel of time happening as it does, because for this ace to come in and for you to feel, here's another thing, for you to feel that this is a gift rather than a burden. These two cards are very different. You can see they both, you will have clear thinking. It's a clear day, it's a clear opportunity, but the difference between these two cards is this one is a gift that the world, the divine, the universe, God, however you look at it, is trying to hand to you. And all you have to do is open your hand to receive it. This means carrying more of the burden than is yours. This means feeling overwhelmed, feeling burdened, feeling like your back is going to break, feeling like you can do it no longer. Look at the difference between these two, Pisces. If you just put down what's unnecessary, if you put down what's not yours, and just let your enthusiasm, your passion, your drive, your vitality, your sort of desire to lead you, this is so much easier. Receive this gift instead of weighing yourself down with burdens. And as you align yourself with time evolving as it's supposed to, or as it just does, instead of resisting it and fighting it tooth and nail, like go faster, go slower, it can be either one of these. So are you going to allow it to be a gift, or are you going to treat it like a burden? Are you going to carry more than your fair share of this, or are you going to just carry what's yours and run with it? It's a question. And the more you embrace this change, Pisces, the more you cut back what's no longer necessary, what feels like a burden, what feels like it's more than your share, the more it's going to lighten your load to go forward. And that's going to also allow you to align better with the divine timing of things, instead of forcing things, carrying all this baggage, fear, these bricks from the old structures and the old ways of doing things. That you can't hold on to that, Pisces, and be free and open enough to go forward. Look at how light these cards are. There's no baggage. There's no remnants from the old past, from the structures that remain. This is birth. I'm even seeing like a male principle and a female principle here, and that's what's creating your freedom. It's really like a birth, Pisces, and it's empowering to you. It's making you feel like your most expanded, supported, aware, elevated self. So there's nothing to fear except letting go. That's what death is here to tell you. And Tower in reverse, and Wheel, and the Devil. Let go of all this old crap. Old beliefs that keep you hindered, fears, doubts, the shadow aspect of yourself. It's time to let that go, Pisces. And then towards the end, because you're really, it's a clear blue day here for you, and world is who you are. You know, and you're really gonna have a new birth here at this new moon in your house of higher learning. It totally makes sense with Jupiter there, the house of expansion. I mean, the planet of expansion in your house, ninth house of higher learning, opening up its birth. It's really beautiful, Pisces. If you can push through this. This is almost like the childbirth pains, pushing through that. And, you know, here's the new baby coming in, new life, new reward, you know, coupled with this ace and then world. You'll get through it. If it feels like pain and agony, it's just growing pains for you here at the beginning of November. You will have to release something near the full moon in Taurus, but realize it's only going to empower you to go forward. Towards the end of the month, I see an old elder figure, King of Swords, going head to head with Page of Wands. These two are very different energies. Now, this could be an air sign versus a fire sign, a younger fire sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius versus, you know, Aries, Leo, Sag. But I actually am reading this as two aspects of you, or you and another person. Now, whether you're dealing with someone who's older or you're dealing with someone who's younger, that may define who these are. But this is a very young, fiery, passionate, unbridled fire energy, Page of Wands. And this is almost the opposite in that this is a logical, analytical, thoughtful, wise, experienced energy of air, having to do with thought and rationality. This one's incredibly analytical and logical. This one is like all about action, but inexperience. So this one says, I want to do it now. Let's just go. And this guy says, no, like we have to think about things. We have to plan them. We have to, you know, this is a very wise card. I sometimes call this the King Solomon card because he's the king of thought. And these oak leaves represent that experience and that wisdom, and the thought is applied. I mean, that's what this wheat is about too. It's the harvest from knowing, taking time and making good decisions. Page of Wands, even though he's passionate, you know, it's fire energy and motivated and enthusiastic. He's like, sign me up. I just want to get in the game right now. Let's just go. And he's saying, no, wait, we have to think this through. We have to do this correctly. You know, he's the voice of reason. And this guy, this page, could be male or female, just wants to go now. All action, no. Like, this one's like, shoot first, think later. And this one's like, you really have to think about what you're doing. You have to make a plan. So there is some resistance, some tension towards the end of the month between an unbridled, passionate, fiery energy, maybe a younger aspect of yourself, versus what your head is saying or someone else about, no, this is what's logical, this is what's analytical, this is what experience would do. I kind of just get this as the younger side of yourself, Pisces, and this is the older, more experienced side of yourself, your head telling, you know, your fiery, passionate nature, hey, you got to slow down. You got to think this through. You can't just like run in all directions and be crazy, be like a crazy teenager, you know, calm those hormones down. It's just funny. I almost get this as like an internal dialogue between your thinking process, which seems very clear this month. King of Swords is like the best thinker possible. He's the most experienced, most wise. And then this young teenage side, I think of this as like a skateboarder who's just like, I'm just going to bomb this hill and not think about any consequences at all. I'm just ready to go. Let's just go. Put me in the game, coach. And he's like, no, let's make a plan first. So two aspects of you, and guess who has the better approach? I'm just going to let you decide, Pisces, but there is going to be this battle. So you may have two different aspects. Kind of talking with one another towards the end of the month. And I really do get those are aspects of yourself. And then at the very end of the month, I'm going to encourage you to be assertive, standing up for your beliefs, defending your territory. This card is Seven of Wands, which has to do with, it's called success despite adversity. And it means that when you stand up for yourself, you can really defend your space, really assert your needs, your wants, your desires. That's what all this fire energy is about, because it's wands. But you may doubt whether, you may be focusing on the adversity, the problems, the challenges when this card is in reverse. What I like to point out with Seven of Wands is that he's in a place of advantage. He is either fighting off all these other wands or he's leading them. And what this card means is, in its upright position, is that there's success available if you maintain your position, if you defend your boundaries, if you stand up for yourself, if you're assertive. This is a real card of protection, protecting what you desire, what you want, what you believe in, what you care about. When it's in the reverse position, there is some doubt, fear, or resistance about standing up for yourself, about being assertive. And I get, with all this wands energy here, I get that these are very, Page of Wands and Ace of Wands are very like, this is my idea, I'm running with it. This is my baton, I just want to go. And these two cards are more about having burdens. This one is carrying the burden. One is the burden of defending one's beliefs. So I kind of get that there needs to be a balance between unbridled action and being like overly responsible about carrying everybody else's stuff too. So this is a lot of fire energy. This is saying, be aware, Pisces, about where you're applying your effort. What's yours? What turns you on? What is your desire? What motivates you? What are you enthusiastic about? These cards light up fire. Page of Wands wants to go. Ace of Wands wants to go. It's like a match. These ones feel very burnt out. 10 of Wands is like too much. I've been carrying too much for too long. This is all, how much of this is mine? And 7 of Wands is like, I have to fight for what's mine. I have to both of these are heavy, whereas both of these are light. So what I'm going to say with all these in reverse is find the happy medium. Whereas 6 of Wands is what's in the middle, that's success. So find out what feels like between a match, that inspiration, that motivation, enthusiasm, that wanting to run forward, that lightness like this, versus the heavy energy of carrying too much responsibility, having carried it for too long, having had to defend it. Where's the happy medium, Pisces, of where your passion, your energy, your motivation creates success? That's 6 of Wands, happy medium, where it's not too unbridled and just like fire burning in all directions that dissipates like a sparkler, versus this heavy fire that like just burns everything down to the ground. Find that happy medium. So I don't know if that's too scattered for you, Pisces, but that's the sense I'm getting, is that you need to find a place to direct your energy, your passion, your motivation, your enthusiasm, your desire, that's all fire energy stuff, into a happy medium where it's not too little that it just doesn't ignite, that it's just like a sparkler. It's unbridled desire, passion, energy in no direction, versus too much that burns it all away. Find that middle ground where you're carrying what's yours, but not being overly burdened and still being enthusiastic and passionate, but finding that success. So that's my reading for you, Pisces, for November.